Hi, I'm Sylvia Gordon. This is going to be a little unusual in this episode. Can't help but want to find that. We're going to talk about a bunch of new carriers to the Medicare space, just to give you an idea of who's expanding. You might not want the contract, it might not be in your area, but you need to know about it in case you're asked about
Who
it.
the players are.
And you might want it. So stay tuned and we'll talk about a bunch of new players.
All right, and why are we dressed like this?
Because I'm a Spartan, you're a gladiator.
I'm a gladiator.
We're fighters. We fight for the true cause of the independent agent.
Here is a prize. First one in the comments. What movie, one of my favorite movies, does a certain gladiator, I will say, smoking hot, says, strength and honor. First one wins a prize.
Okay.
It's from a gladiator.
Okay.
Very cool. Very cool.
Okay.
All right.
So let's start off with Florida Blue being the biggest shocking news because they've been only dealing with exclusive agents for years.
Active,
And
yep.
it was funny because the agents had an exclusive contract, but it wasn't the best product for years, or it wasn't the best product for that client. So they would sell other stuff on the side. So we would work with them on the side. Everybody worked with everybody on the side. Well, then one time Florida Blue came in and they said, if you have any other contracts,
Yep,
then you're done. And so everybody got right with law and they dropped everything. So if you sell for Florida Blue, you're exclusive and you only sold for Florida Blue.
And so if you are on that captive side, you got to stay put.
Protect your renewals.
Yeah, otherwise you run that risk. If you're independent, this is the time to jump on. We can get you licensed and ready to go for this season, especially if you are out of state selling in the state of Florida.
Right.
Non-resident, so
it's on our
good
quote
news.
engine right now. You can start quoting it. And if you want a contract, hurry up and get in for this AEP. If you're a street level agent, the agent level is paid direct by Florida Blue. We are required to pay GA, MGA, SGA, and up.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, that is not our choice. We have to do that by the carrier. So we get asked a lot,
why do you do that?
people think like we want that control. Heck no, we're a marketing company. We are not an accounting firm. If we have to do it, we have to do it. That's just how some contracts are laid out. So on any of those higher end contracts, the override will come from us.
So there's quite a few companies that do that. They make us pay GA overrides and above. We don't want to do that. That is not our choice. We do not. But they save a lot of money by just cutting one check and making us dole it out to the GA, the MGA. That they want to save money by putting it on us.
Yeah, and a lot of times we would just...
But I get agents that accuse us. It's like, I would love never to do that. Okay, let's talk about just all the startups that are coming into Medicare. This slide shows the funding of the largest fundraisers, new Medicare startups. And this is based on 2019 data. So you'll see Oscar. Who's Oscar?
Oscar is this is Jared Kushner's brother.
Right. So the former... unofficial vice president of the country, I guess. I don't know. Jared Kushner had 1 million jobs. But they've raised a ton of money for Oscar Health. Bright Health, which is run by a bunch of people that used to run...
Now, can we say where Oscar's going to be? Are we giving out that
Oscar! They just expanded into Broward County. Okay. So not a massive expansion, but since Florida is big county, that is a big deal for 2021. Bright Health?
Let's see.
Also, I don't have their expansion on this one, but we do have Bright Health webinar on August 31st.
And everything is behind our firewall on the first look on the website.
If you want to see all the first looks for any product, existing and the new ones, they are on our website at gordonmarketing.com. Clover is not new, but they are expanding. And then Devoted, which I think Devoted is not new again for 2021. They were around in 2019, but they're pretty new. And Devoted is expanding into Ohio, Florida, Texas, Illinois, and Arizona. And Texas is just in Houston, which I think you are going to be in Houston next week. They're brand new to Ohio. So we have a lot of agents in Ohio that will need to look at this new player, Devoted.
And I'll tell you, Ohio has typically been... predominantly an anthem state. So that's their number one state. So
So every year the cards get shuffled. I want to talk a little bit about Zing, because Zing Healthcare will be in Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan. Of course, Zing did buy Lasso from Ritter, which is the MSA. I think they're in about 38 states, but that contract's not being merged yet. Zing is a major throwback to 2005.
Oh, because it's a private fee for service.
Yeah, so if you're new, you've never heard that term. And if you're old, you're like, what?
Yeah.
You launch a PFFS plan if you didn't have time to build a network. Because PFS, you can go to any doctor.
Yep.
If they accept it, then you're in.
Well, it wasn't really sustainable since there are none, right?
There are none what?
Private fee-for-services, really anymore?
There is some.
But
There's
not.
a little bit. There's a little bit. Everybody went to network.
They dwindled way
Everybody
down.
went to network. So Zing is starting off with PFFS. I'm sure they'll build their network and they'll be a PPO and HMO company next year. But this is a quick way to get into the market. Kaiser's the big one.
So that's pretty cool. Kaiser's always, this is their first dip into the distribution market.
Can't say it's very comfortable being a Spartan.
I'm almost wondering if maybe just don't move your head.
Okay. How do you go to battle?
Well, I think they're heavier.
Okay.
I think in real battle they're
It's hard to be a Spartan.
It's hard. We should be a gladiator.
Okay, Kaiser has only worked directly with agents. They've never worked with distribution. So this is their foray into distribution, and they're going in very small steps. They are in basically Georgia, Colorado. Basically Georgia. So they're going to make a big splash in Georgia this year, which is a big state for Medicare.
A couple things to keep in mind, though.
Well, they're also in Maryland, D.C., and Virginia. But not as big. Georgia's going to be the big push.
If the client is coming off of a group, Kaiser group, and going to a Kaiser MA plan, does the agent make commission?
No. So, a lot of people are going to be mad because they're not going to figure that out until they didn't get paid. And then they're going to yell at their FMO. So, if you're going to sell for Kaiser, that's something good to know. How about if ACA?
So, if they go from ACA to an MA plan, only the AOR will get paid commission.
So, if they're on Kaiser MA and I sold it to them, I can move them from Kaiser MA to Kaiser MAPD and get paid. But how about you sold them the Kaiser
ACA,
and I move them to Kaiser MAPD?
I get paid.
Nobody gets paid.
You said the person, the original or agent of record on the ACA gets paid.
You know, I don't remember that. So you'll have to, if you really want to know which one of us remembers this correctly, you'll have
That's
to
what
ask
she
us in the
said.
comments. And
I wrote it down.
because I can't remember if that, I think I don't get paid. I wrote the case and I don't get paid in both cases.
If you know, hit us up in the
The
comments.
main thing is be very careful when you're
That's the
writing
main thing.
when you're writing a Kaiser Medicare plan to somebody that was on a Kaiser underage or group plan.
It's hard to know everything when you are a gladiator or
Right,
a Spartan.
It's hard to
because
be
we're
a gladiator.
constantly in
It's a
battle.
lot of-
We're battling for the agent.
Right. And people say, well, why should I work with you versus working directly with Kaiser? That's the age-old question that we've always had. Why should I work with you versus Anthem? Work with you directly versus working directly with Humana. It's the same with your client. Your client can bypass you and go directly to Humana,
Yep.
Kaiser, Mutual of Omaha, Anthem. Why does your client work with you? Because you bring all this extra value to them and you don't cost your client anything to work with them. It's the same with the FMO.
Yep.
You don't lose any money by working with us. You get paid the same as if you did go direct, but we bring a lot of value. One is the clearinghouse of knowledge, the training, the support, the face-to-face relationships, all the other things we can do for you that makes it a more beneficial relationship than working direct with a carrier.
Carriers want you to work with FMOs. That's why they encourage it. A lot of them won't work directly with the agents. They know that if the agent is working with the FMO, they'll sell more. They have better persistency, less complaints. And they also make it way easy to jump ship to an FMO from direct. So
Because
they want it.
Because we bring a lot of value to it. So if you're like, well, I'm just going to call Kaiser Direct, do it. You make the same as working with us.
Do it.
It's the same thing for your client. Your client's like, well, I'm not going to go with you. I'm just going to call Kaiser Direct. It's the same thing. You have to explain the value you're bringing to your client, and you don't cost anything to be in the equation to help. So, want to talk about one of our favorite agents that was nominated for Agent of the Month?
Gary Nolly from Shelbyville, Indiana, just an absolute exceptional person. He's been in the business for over 36 years. He has since doubled his annuity production, working with us and just being part of our team and our family. One of the coolest things about Gary, I think, is he ran cross country at Butler and was really, really good.
So Gary ran a sub 5 mile.
See, I don't even know what that means.
It means
But
under 5 minutes. He ran like a 4:57 mile. this was like 35 years ago. So this is a really fast guy. So those of you that are into running, you're like, woo, you know.
All hail Gary.
But he's just a really nice guy. Does a lot of business with us. His daughter used to work for us.
We have it listed here about being an outstanding citizen by the Chamber of Commerce in Shelbyville.
Yeah.
He was nominated for that award.
He and his wife Michelle, they're just tremendous people,
They're
and
excellent.
it's our honor to work with
Yes.
you guys. It's been a pleasure, and congratulations on being Agent of the Month.
Thank you, Gary.
If you want to nominate yourself for Agent of the Month, please tell us in the comments. We would love to give you some recognition too. We work with thousands of amazing agents. It's impossible, but it is fun to put somebody's picture up here and talk a little bit about, being able to work with somebody for 20 years. It is fun.
It's cool.
Relationships make this business really special. Yep. That's all I have.
That's all we have. Until next time, good selling, folks.
Thank you.